What's going on, guys? It's your boy Papa React, and we are back for day 2 of the 5-day React.js Metaverse Challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're not going to let any tech issues stop us, guys. Fun fact, the tech issue that we just had was because of battery power, but we fixed it. It's all good. We are back. We're stronger than ever. This is what the Papa Fam's about. We don't let small things like this defeat us. If you want to go ahead and support this stream right now, do me a massive solid. Destroy that thumbs up. We're going to crush it. Welcome to day 2 of the Web3 Metaverse Challenge. This is going to be a hell of a lot of fun, guys. We're going to breeze through the introduction so we can get to the real coding nitty-gritty stuff that you guys are asking for. £12,000 worth of prizes. It's going to be a massive day. Welcome, guys, to day 2 of the Web3 Metaverse Challenge. You guys have been incredible. Thank you for coming through every day, turning up, showing up. That's what real winners are about. We don't quit when things get tough. We just get it. Right, so let's go ahead and introduce. Are you ready for day 2? Let me know in the comments right now. Destroy that thumbs up button. We're gonna go ahead and show the world how the Papa Fam can come back from anything, guys. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and absolutely destroy this right now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn up my music so I get a bit hyped up in this place. Let's do this. All right, are you ready for day 2? If you haven't reserved your spot already, first link in the description, papafam.com/metaverse challenge. That's going to be where you need to go if you want to go ahead and get a chance at winning a part of the £12,000 prize pool. Okay, first link in the description. Sign up already. We're back, we're live, we're stronger than ever. Join the official Papa Fam Discord server if you haven't already. Link is in the description. That's going to be the place that you need to go to if you want to go ahead and get help, chat to the community. I even hop in sometimes on a voice chat just to chat to you guys. So it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Join in there. Join the official Papa Fam Facebook group. You're going to find the appropriate links. You're going to get help from the community, and it's going to be our way of giving you additional bonus points if you're a part of the Web3 Metaverse Challenge. Okay, share this and use hashtag Papa Challenge to help yourself win a grand prize. Literally pull out your phone and shoot a story, tag me in it, tag your boy Papa React at the tags at the bottom over here, and yeah, we're going to give you some bonus points to go ahead and share this to the world. And the final day, you're going to get 2 free ebooks, a brand new Next.js ebook which we've never shown before to the world. You're going to get free cryptocurrency with Clouch. Those guys are incredible. More about them in a sec. I'm going to give you an ultimate roadmap for 2022 to kill it. Take these skills that you learn on this YouTube channel and destroy it as a Web3 React.js full stack dev in the year 2022. So next year, okay? We're learning all of this today. We're going to be learning React Next.js, Tailwind CSS version 3, Moralis for Web3 tech, and we're going to be using MetaMask to log in and authenticate our users, all right? And on day 5, we open the doors to our flagship Zero to Full Stack Hero community, the best course community out there. If you stick around to day 5, you're going to get a hell of a surprise because we're going to drop something which you haven't dropped before. Rajpreet, what's up, dude? He's tuning in from Germany. Let me know where you're watching from right now. This is incredible to see the energy picking back up. This is what we're doing. Quick word from our challenge sponsor, Clouch. Clouch is awesome, guys. It's like the Twitter of the Web3 world. It's going to be the big thing. Jump in now while you can. We have these awesome achievements over there where if you literally sign up with links.papareact.com/Clouch, you get free crypto, guys. That's incredible. We had 10,000 new users yesterday. If you didn't know what Clouch is, it's an awesome platform that allows you to go ahead and connect with the metaverse world of Web3 individuals, the crypto heads, the tech enthusiasts, right? The people who are ahead of the game. This is where they go to. It's Clouch, right? So this is what the Papa Fam actually built. Our own internal devs built this. And guys, by going there right now, you can get your free cryptocurrency. So hit the link in the description. It's a decentralized social media platform. Your data belongs to you. It's the place you need to be. We have a private Facebook, a private Clouch Papa Fam group that you can join. Make sure you do. Send me a DM. I see all your messages. I appreciate you guys. I will be dropping you a message if you DM me inside of Clouch. Head over for your free crypto. Check the live chat. Jay's going to be dropping the link everywhere right now, and we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Who's ready to code up the login screen and flow? Comment yes and let me know where you're watching from. We've got Kerala, we've got Venezuela, Poland, Iran, Greece, South Africa, India, USA. That's what I'm talking about. Amazing. I love that. Facebook's for noobs, Clouch is for pros. I like that, dude. You're on my vibe. That's what I'm talking about. It's time to focus, get into your matrix headspace, throw your phone to the side, turn on do not disturb. This is where we get into the real stuff, okay? We're gonna go over some quick reminders. This is a competition, okay? Which means that we have some points aspect to it. So today, you're here for one reason. You're gonna build the login screen and logic. You're gonna go ahead and submit your homework, crush it in this challenge. The day 2, so today, we're gonna review a quick portfolio homework. So you guys crushed it, over 350 submissions, and then we're gonna build the rest of the app, right? The login flow. Point system. This is a challenge. You get 1 point for sending a message on any social media platform, 2 for tagging me, 3 for helping someone with their homework. This is what it's all about in the Papa Fam. You want to share and help others. 4 points for referring someone else to the challenge or to Clouch. So we're literally monitoring both platforms right now. If you refer someone else, we're going to give you 4 points, and 5 is going to be, or 5, I don't know, I did too, but 5 is going to be for submitting your homework. It makes sense, okay? If you submit your homework, you're learning, I see you putting in the work, that's where you get points, okay? Prizes you can bag: first place diamond mentorship experience plus 500 in cash, which we've never done before. Second place, 3 winners of the platinum membership and 10 winners of $100 cash. Third place, 50% off coupons. We have so much right now to look forward to, okay? Somebody said the music is a little bit high. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that down for you guys. There you go, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and drop that and I'll turn mine up. There we go. Right, so let me know if that's better for you guys and give me any feedback. Awesome stuff, guys. Homework submission, links are in Facebook, links are in the description. Everything you need to know is down below, right? And also in the Facebook group, you can check out guides, and there you have all the appropriate links that you're gonna need, okay? Your yesterday's homework was to download the portfolio, customize it, make it look beautiful. So some of the notable mentions from the 350 plus of you who went ahead and crushed it. And if you are enjoying this video and you look forward to this challenge, destroy that like button and help this stream come back from these annoying tech issues that YouTube keeps throwing at us. There were some insane portfolios. If you see yours right now, we're actually going to give you 10 bonus points. We have Jaquez. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. We got Luca. I love that one. We use the same background in Notion. We have Savas. Scared of spiders, but I like this one. Mene. That's an awesome custom portfolio. That's not even the one that we gave you. We have Kenneth and Jonatas. These are awesome portfolios. Congratulations, guys. But the girls came in clutch too. Alenia absolutely smashed it with her futuristic background. We had Priska. This one really just screams design to me, right? This has front end passion written all over it. I really do like the design, and I personally am a fan of that portfolio. I think that is a cool background. There's just something very aesthetic about it, right? That's what I would personally do if I was building a portfolio, something like minimal. Now, these are some cool additional mentions. I'm going to show Ken and Shrida, but thank you to Cesario Patini and Eric as well. All of you guys are getting an additional 10 points, so congratulations. Ken White, awesome portfolio. Check this out, guys. Really looks nice. And I love this little scroller at the bottom. Really clean stuff. We have Shri there as well, and I'll be honest, I'm a sucker for this little animation in the background. I'll sit here playing for ages, and then at that point I'll give you a call and say, yo, you want to come in for an interview? It's pretty cool, right? It's way better than a boring paper resume. So with that said, guys, if you haven't registered, make sure you sign up for the Web3 Metaverse Challenge in the first link in the description so we can keep track of you guys. Hope you guys go ahead and, crush it. Baha says, bring her into the Clouch team. That's what I'm talking about. Clouch won you, Alenia. So awesome stuff. And guys, check this out. This is what we're actually going to be building today. This is a login screen and flow where you can go ahead and actually click the login to the Metaverse button. MetaMask will pop up. I'm going to quickly throw in my password for MetaMask right now so I can go ahead and actually authenticate myself. So give me 1 second right now. Let me go ahead and grab that and let me log in. So MetaMask is secure. It's a very awesome platform that you can use. So now I've gone ahead, logged into my account. So once we're back over at the screen, I can log into the Metaverse, click sign, and it's as simple as that. I will literally get logged into my account. Right? And we're going to log out, but we're going to build all of this today. You're going to learn how to do it. It's going to be completely beginner friendly. John Clark says, where do we get the images for the background from? I've got you covered. I've shortened the URLs. So once we go over this, you will see where you can get that from, dude. I've got your back, right? So continuing on, we have a ton of different submissions from all over the metaverse. So incredible stuff. Thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this challenge. This is why the Papa Fam community is the best in the world, right? This is why we grew to over 100,000 subscribers in less than a year. That is insane, guys. 100,000 of you, and even right now, the concurrent viewers that are tuning in after all the tech issues, you guys are so, this is what makes me hyped up, right? I can have the lowest energy, come on stream, see the Papa fam, and I'm back. I'm full of energy, I'm going strong, right? So helping each other gives you extra points. That's what it's about. Now we're gonna get to the real stuff right now, right? Jay, I say we build the login screen, dude. Let's do it, man. Yeah, we're gonna design the login flow. We're gonna crush it. Let's kill this thing, right? So can we get the portfolio of Ken White? You can ask Ken White in the chat right now if he's happy to give it to you. Ken, you're getting famous, dude, right? People are loving your stuff. So right now, we're gonna go ahead and build this, the Metaverse login for the challenge, right? So what I'm gonna do to make things a little bit nicer is I'm gonna go ahead, drop the volume down a little bit so we can actually focus a bit more and concentrate, right? And if at any point you find the volume too loud, go ahead and let me know. I'll adjust it and so forth, right? But what we're gonna do right now, guys, is go ahead and actually set everything up so we can actually crush this build today, right? So as I mentioned before, guys, we have the homework submission. So after you finish today's build, you can go ahead and submit it, the full name, email, and your deployed site URL. I'm going to show you how to go ahead and do all of this in a second once we've done the build. But we're actually going to be using Moralis. Now, if Ivan is watching, he's an awesome guy. He pretty much runs things over at Moralis. But this is a platform which is incredible for Web3. It's essentially Firebase for Web3. They handle our authentication. They'll be handling our database for all the off-chain data transactions that are going to be happening. And guys, the thing I want to mention is this is your ultimate introduction to Web3, okay? So once you have this in your portfolio, it's incredibly easy to then go ahead and crush it and build something like an NFT marketplace, smart contracts. The motto over at Moralis is one line of code, and I truly believe in that anthem, right? The whole point of using a platform is it should bring simplicity to your life. But Moralis does exactly that, and this is why we chose to use them, okay? So you want to click on the login at the top right here, and once you're in, you're going to go to the admin panel. So once you're over here, guys, you should see the servers section. You want to go ahead and click create a new server. And we're going to go ahead and actually choose the testnet server. Now, when you're building a Web3 app, let's talk about something like Ethereum. Ethereum has the mainnet. Now, the mainnet, if you didn't know, is where all the real breathing transactions live. This is where all the main things are happening. When you hear about somebody buying a NFT for 5 million or God knows, like 500 million or something like that, some billionaire ape, this is where they're doing that transaction most of the time. It's in the Ethereum blockchain, right? So in the mainnet server is where all the real transactions happen, but there's essentially high costs of doing transactions on that server. So when we're doing test work, so development work, we don't want to go ahead. I love that. Somebody goes, Sunny isn't just, he's Messi and Ronaldo of coding. I love that, dude. Thank you. So we want to actually develop on the testnet server, okay? The testnet server is going to be the one which we can, it's got loads of dummy transactions on it. So this is going to be where we can develop against. Now, if you want to do even faster development or literally fee-free, you can go to a local dev chain server. That's why it's kind of in a hierarchy from top to bottom. And that's going to be running on your local machine. Now, we're going to make it easy. We're going to do testnet server, give it a name. So in this case, Metaverse Challenge does the trick. We're going to select a region, so London, and then we're going to go ahead and select a network. Now, in this case, I'm going to click Ethereum Robston, right? But you can actually see that you can build things with networks like a Polygon, Avalanche, and to be honest with you, Polygon is an awesome choice for the fact that the gas fees, which is essentially the cost of transactions, is essentially very cheap. So looking pretty promising for Polygon, right? Then you click on add instance. Now what this is doing is it will set up a server for you. So I've already gone ahead and set one up here, and you can see it gives us some allocation, it gives us some resources, right? Okay, so I didn't actually share the screen. Right, so if you guys can see right now, oh, sorry guys, I'm sorry, I didn't show my screen. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and click on the testnet server, and then we go ahead and type in Metaverse Challenge, like so. Okay, now once you're here, select region London, and then you can select a chain over here, right? So Ethereum. Thank you guys for pointing that out, right? And then we click on add instance. So once you've done that, it will create this server for us. You can see it's an actual running server. Now what I want you to do here is click dashboard, okay? And we can also keep this open for future. Now that's our Moralis setup, okay? It's kind of like, it's very simple to do, right? We've already set that up. Now what we're gonna do now is move over to some React and Next.js. Next.js is a framework for React. React is the most booming JavaScript library right now, so you should be learning React. And what better way to use React than in a framework that is also booming, that is also extremely powerful. And if you want to see more information about Next.js or any use cases, check out my videos on Sony Sanga, the YouTube page that you're watching right now. We have tons of them, but let's continue on with our first setup of our Next.js app. So what we're going to be doing is using Next.js plus Tailwind. Now there's an awesome sort of template that we can use from the guys over at Vercel, who are the creators of Next.js, and it's this command over here. So when you use React, we might be familiar with something called create React app. And now we're going to be using something called create Next app. This is essentially the same thing, but it creates a Next.js framework application for us. So it's going to be using React, but it's all going to be set up in the Next.js configuration. And what we're actually going to do is extend it with this kind of template or example, as they call it here, and the with Tailwind CSS. This will set up Tailwind CSS version 3.0 for us, right? So you can see the example shows how to use Tailwind CSS 3.0 with us, okay? Messy now though, Sonny, I like that. So we're going to go ahead and actually copy this right now, and you can use MPX or Yarn, it's up to you. And I'm going to go ahead and actually do the following. So I'm going to type in terminal. And over here, I'm going to make this big so you guys can see it. I'm going to go into my documents folder right now. So I'm going to say CD documents. Make sure you're in a folder which makes sense for you. I'm going to pop it here. So I'm going to paste, but I'm not going to hit enter just yet. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to change the final name over here because that's your project name. So here I'm going to say Metaverse Challenge, and I'm going to say YouTube, right? So that way I know it's my YouTube build, right? So if I go ahead and hit enter now, this will set up our first Next.js app, okay? So hopefully this is a good pace for you guys. Let me know in the comments right now. Smash the thumbs up button if the pace is good and if you want me to go ahead and carry on at this pace. But we're going to go ahead and install all the dependencies and packages to get our first Next.js app up and running, okay? So at this point, what we can do is I'm going to go ahead and just wait a second for that to go ahead and close. Set up now. Heading back over, we have CD Metaverse Challenge. So I need to go into the directory that is just created for me. So I'm going to hop into there, enter. And as you can see, I'm now in that directory, right? So I'm going to type in code dot. Now, if this command doesn't work for you, manually open up a VS Code and do the following. Just go to File, Open, or Open Folder, and then go to that directory. Or if you want that nice code command, Command-Shift-P, type in install, and you can see install code in command in path. Now, I'm using the beta version, hence Code Insiders, but if you want yours should say code, and then that will give you that nice little functionality that I just showed you before. Okay, let me know if you're keeping up with me right now. We have a lot of viewers right now. This is actually really incredible, the fact that everyone, despite all the technical stuff, they're coming back stronger than ever. So keep up with me, guys. This is awesome. All right, now before we get started, I want to do two things. I want to go to my extensions and I want to make sure that you guys have got the tools that we need, right? This is a React snippets tool which helps us build our functional components very fast. So go ahead and download that. It's going to be your best friend during this build. The next thing we want to do is we want to go to Tailwind CSS IntelliSense, install this. It's going to make life a hell of a lot easier, okay? This will go ahead and give us the nice utility classes that Tailwind CSS provides, which means that when we're coding, we do not have to guess a bunch of stuff, right? It's going to help for us. So let's go over to the Explorer and let's click on Pages, Index. Now, what's really nice about this, guys, is that if you go over to the index, you can actually find something pretty cool that you might have not had inside of React without something like React Router. The pages actually corresponds to the different pages on your website. So index.js is typically our home page in web development. So if I want to go ahead and spin this app up, Command J, pull up my terminal, and I'm going to go ahead and actually cut off my old app, which is running right now. I'm going to go ahead and do npm run dev, and that will actually run my server in a development environment. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run this, and I'm going to open it up in localhost 3000. So you can see this is what we get in front of us. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to do is just give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my screen. There we go. So at this point, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull my code on the side, Command B to hide the folders, Command J to hide the terminal. And I'm going to see, you see, this is what runs up on our app, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and delete all of the things inside of the main over here. So we're going to pop that off, hit save, and you can see now we just have the footer. So I'm going to grab the footer, get rid of the footer as well, hit save, boom, it looks nice, right? And now you can see we've got a fresh slate. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and actually clear a few things up. Now, as you can see in the top, it says create next app, right? It's very small, but you can see it says create next app. That actually is sort of configured over here inside of this new head tag, which is part of Next.js. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and type in Metaverse Challenge, right? Metaverse Challenge. And what's really nice here is that if you ever want to inject HTML inside of the head element, you can go ahead and use this nice Next.js head component and wrap your HTML that you wish to inject inside the head element. So in this case, I changed it to Metaverse Challenge, and now my tab has changed to the Metaverse Challenge. So it's very clean, very nice stuff, okay? I'm going to go ahead and give ourselves a clean slate by getting rid of all the class names, and under here I'll say H1 welcome to the Metaverse Challenge, right? So welcome, if I can spell, welcome to the Metaverse 5-day challenge, Papa Fam. There we go, and hit enter. Now you should see what I see, right? You should see this on the top left hand side of the screen. That means we're at the point that we need to be at. And I want to make sure that you guys get this right. So go to package.json, make sure you're using Tailwind CSS version 3. Okay, that means you've done everything correct. We have the latest and greatest tech. Okay, so once this is done, I now need to kind of move forward. Thank you so much, Prashun, for the donation. That is awesome. Kayo says, what haircut do you got? Looks nice. Dude, it's the Dubai haircut, man. It's all about the Dubai haircut. You go to Skills by Dubai if you want to check it out. I'm going to have a quick water break. Okay, so first thing we're going to do now is we need to create our first component. On the login screen, right, on our home page, I want to show my login screen. Then we're going to have some cool logic later on in tomorrow's build where we actually determine if we should show the login component or the rest of the app. And what we're going to first do is create our login component, okay? So in this case, what we're going to do is Command B. We're going to go ahead and close up our pages, click on package.json so you're at the correct level, create a new folder, and we're going to call it components. Okay, hit enter. Now inside the components, I'm going to create login.js. Now inside of login.js, I want to do _RFCE. Now what this means is create me a React functional component which is exported, and the underscore stands for the new syntax, which means that we don't have the import React from React at the top, right? So this is a nice little shorthand. That's what that ES7 extension was for. At this point, I can type in H1 and say I am the login screen. Okay, hit enter, and we don't see anything yet. Well, that's strange, but it makes sense because we've got the login component here, but we're not importing it into our actual page. So now to pull it in, I put in a component like so. I say login. Now I go to the end of N, control spacebar, and I get this nice little IntelliSense. I hit enter and I get this nice little autocomplete for me where it imports it. As you can see now, it says I am the login screen. Okay, so Jen says, love your videos, man. Great explaining and interesting projects. Thank you so much, dude. I really honestly appreciate every single one of you. If you like the videos, just all else, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and the bell notification icon. I think it's like 50% of you that aren't subscribed. I don't know why. Hit it, all right? And then hit the like button as well. That'll help push this video out to as many developers out there. It helps grow the Papa fam, okay? So at this point, what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna go ahead and move forward with the build. So we're gonna create our login screen. Okay, now the login screen is pretty cool in the sense of we actually have I should have taken a screenshot of it, but we had that cool futuristic looking screen, right? Now that had an image in it and it had a button. So we're going to first go ahead and design it, then we're going to plug Morales in, and then we're going to go ahead and upgrade it, right? So first thing I want to do is have a look at this div, right? So the first thing is this div. I want to make the background black, right? And we need to make the actual container relative. And that's because we're going to have some things which are going to be positioned inside of it. So you can see it is black right now. It looks pretty decent. And then we're going to go ahead and go back. Sorry, no, it's not going to be this one. Sorry, it's going to be the login component. We're going to go to our login component here. My mistake. And then we're going to click on class name, not children, class name. Wow. Okay. Class name. And there you go, background black relative. Cool. At this point, what I want to do is I'm going to go to my index.js, and you can see right now it's not taking up the full height. So what the first thing we need to do is go to our main container, which is surrounding our login, and do H of screen, which means it will take up the height of the screen. Okay, so in a second we'll go ahead and we'll mess around with this. We'll get it to work fully. Okay, actually no, at this point I don't think I do this. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change it up because this is how we're gonna do it afterwards. So I'm gonna have it similar to a sort of toggle like structure. So let's go ahead and say const user equals false, right? So imagine we're not logged in. I'm gonna have a sort of if condition which goes on, yeah? And let's actually say rather than user, let's say is authenticated. Right, is authenticated equals false. Now what we'll do is we'll say if you're not authenticated, then I want to return the login component. Okay, otherwise it will return the rest of the app, right? So at this point I don't need to say this, so I'm going to say h1 welcome to the app, right? And now you can see I am the login screen is over here, right? And let me actually sort of make life a bit easier because right now I can't see that, right? So let's do text white. I'm gonna say text white, and you can see how nice Tailwind CSS is, right? But you can see if I'm not authenticated, I go to the login screen. If I change this to true, now I have the app, right? So you can see how we can kind of, you know, have this kind of switch, right? So that's going to be crucial for how we sort of style things afterwards, okay? So at this point, we're going to say if we're not authenticated, so we're forcing the login screen, then we can go ahead and build the login screen as we need to, okay? So at this point, we have the I am the login screen at the top, but we want to do something a bit more fun than this, right? We don't want to just have this kind of boring, just a picture that's kind of like sitting there like that, right? So what I want to first do is I'm going to have a div, right? And inside of this div, I'm going to have an image and a button, right? The image is going to be the background image, or the image actually here is going to be the Papa Fam logo. And then we're going to have a login to the metaverse button. And then underneath that, we're going to have another image, right? So here we'll say we'll have the Papa Fam logo plus the login button, right? And then underneath all of this, we'll have the actual background image. So here I put a div, and I'm going to put an image, which is the background, that nice futuristic background, okay? What's up, Yep You Can? Good to see you here, dude. Smash the thumbs up button if you're enjoying the video. I think we're going at a very good pace right now, right? So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the new Next.js image tag. Now, Next.js is great in many ways. It gives us a built-in router. It gives us all these kind of cool TypeScript support out the box, all this other stuff. But one thing that's really nice is web pages get slowed down so much by images not being optimized. We may think a JPEG is small, but it's not. So what we actually want to do is before we deliver it to the client, we actually optimize it with Next.js, right? We use their component, we pass it the source of the image, like the URL, and then it actually converts it to something like WebP, which is a hell of a lot smaller than any JPEG that we can get access to, okay? So at this point, I'm going to import the image component from Next.js. So let's go ahead and move to the top of the file, import it like so, hit save, and at the bottom over here now, I'm going to use the image component like this, okay? Now over here, I'm going to put in a source, and the source for this, we're going to go ahead and pass in a string. Now this string, I'm going to go ahead and get over here. Now I've shortened these strings to make them super easy for you guys to copy. It's links.papareact.com/55n. Now you can see we get this lovely red error screen, right? So I love these error screens. No, I don't. Everyone hates them, right? But what we're going to do now is actually go ahead and allow the image component access to the links.papareact.com domain. Now the reason why this is the case, if you just let anyone or any domain act like sort of optimized components, you can really damage your site, right? You should really only whitelist the domains that you know that you trust that you are allowing to be optimized. So in this case, I trust links.papareact.com because it's from me. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add that into our next config file. So the way we do that is we need to go ahead and create a file called next.config in the upper layer. So we say next.config.js. right? And then what we do here is we pop in the following bit of code, okay? So we're going to have a module.exports equals this object. Now inside of this object, you can pass loads of different kind of settings, one of which is the images, right, key. Inside of that, you have an object with the domain key, right? Now here you have an array of whitelisted URLs. So we have two whitelisted URLs that we care about. One is for links.papareact.com and one is for the avatar.dicepairs.com, which is for that randomly generated image that you'll see in tomorrow's build, okay? So this will allow us to actually pass it through. Now we still see an error screen. If we do Command J, you can see it says found a change in next.config.js. We need to go ahead and restart. So cut the server with Control C, do npm run dev and hit the start again, right? Tushar, what's up, dude? Hi, Sunny, after a long time watching your live stream. Great topic. Awesome stuff, dude. Good to see you, man. make sure you stay hydrated, guys. So you can see that went through, but we got another error. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to fix this one. This is the good behavior. We actually want this. At this point, we're going to type in, you need to either pass it width and height, or you have to say fill. Right, so at this point we're going to say layout fill. Right, now be careful when you use this, because if you don't do layout fill correctly and you don't have relative here, it's going to fill the entire screen. Right, so you can see right here it's kind of like stretched, but at the top, right, it's kind of like looking horrible right now. So what I want to do is I want that to actually use up the majority of the screen. So this div right here, which is holding the image, I'm going to go ahead and make that the width full and the height of the screen. Right, and now you can see it's a lovely background color or cover. Yeah, the problem here is that looks stretched to me, and that doesn't look nice, right? I don't know, that's not a circle to me. So at this point what we can do is there's a lovely attribute called object fit, right, similar to the CSS attribute. Now here you can type in cover, and boom, just like that, it will scale the image as we go ahead and make it bigger. You see that? So if it gets smaller, it just centers it, which is exactly what we want. Right, really nice screen that we've got looking right now. So already the app is looking a hell of a lot nicer than it was in the beginning, and we're not even that far in, right? So looking pretty good. Next thing I want to do is add in the Papa Fam logo. So at this point I'm going to do the same thing, use the image tag, and I'm going to go ahead and pop in the following. So I'm going to give the source here the following, which is, again, I've shortened these URLs to make your life easy. It's going to be 3pi, right? So papareact.com/3pi. Again, you have to give it a width and height or layout fill. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and show you the width and height, right? Because this is going to be a fixed width and height. The width, let's give it 200. The height, let's give it 200 as well. And still we don't see it, right? And that's because we haven't given any style. Okay, we haven't given it actually any style. It doesn't know where the hell to show, and it's kind of just sitting in this random place right now, which we're not seeing on the screen. So at this point I need to go ahead and make this look better. So in this case I'm going to click on the div, and what I want to do here is I have two elements inside of this div. So eventually let's actually put the button in right now. So here I'll say log in to the metaverse, right? Metaverse. And for those of you who are hating right now and saying no, you can't log into the metaverse, you have a MetaMask wallet, right? So go to Decentraland and you can run in the metaverse now. Thank me later. There you go. Right, so you can go into the metaverse if you want. This is kind of a cool quirky app that is using Web3. Okay, right, so let's go ahead and continue on. So we've got the button right now, and again we can't see it, right? And this is strange. You know, you might be wondering what the hell is going on. So at this point what we need to do is go to the div, and I'm going to get rid of these comments right here and go here. Jay, are we good on health check? Nice, going strong. All right, so at this point we've got class name, and over here what we're going to do now is go ahead and pop in the following rules, right? So I'm going to make it a flex container, and again we can't see anything just yet. I'm going to say flex column, right? So it's going to actually, by default, flex puts things in a row, right? But instead now I want to put in a column view, and what I want to do here is I want to make it absolute, which I'm going to absolutely position this element. As you can see, things are moving, right? But we're not seeing what we want to see. And that's because it's actually behind the image. So the first thing I need to do is Z50. And what this does is it brings it to the forward layer, right? Otherwise, what it was actually doing was it was behind the background, right? Imi says, are you bullish on crypto? I am a techie, so naturally have been invested in crypto. Yes, I've been heavily invested in crypto for quite a while now, right? So in this case, we've got absolute Z50. And what I want to do is I want to center this element, okay? Now I want this on the sort of, height of 4/6. So I'm going to put it sort of somewhere around there, right? And I'm going to go ahead and do items center, justify, justify center as well. So these will center the elements, right? And then what I'm going to do, and obviously if I just left it would have gone right to the middle, but that's why I did height 4/6, right? So that looks pretty good. And then what I want to do is do a space. Well, actually right now we're forgetting one crucial thing. We gave it a height, we didn't give it a width. So we need to width to 4, and that's why it gets into the center. Now we're getting there, right? This is looking pretty good. Look at this, look, nice. Awesome stuff, right? Ardil says, look sick. Thank you, dude. Appreciate you, man. So at this point, we've got Justify Center. And now you can see the login to the metaverse right there, right? It's a bit too close to the other thing, right? And obviously, I want to make it very simple for you guys to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that white text. So what I'm going to do now is actually give it a space. Now, there's a beautiful utility called space Y, space the items on the y-axis of 4, and what this does is it spaces out the children inside the container. So we have image and button as children. This will give it a spacing of 4 between them. Okay, looks very, very nice, right? So let's check this out. Ardil's correct. He goes, by the way, if you don't check out the course, you're missing out. Yeah, it's all about interaction. Zero to Full Stack Hero is the community that is forever growing for content, for staying up to date, for literally learning the latest and greatest tech and the latest things that you should be up to date with, which most senior devs aren't even up to date with, right? This is what we do in Zero to Full Stack Hero. Stick around to day 5. I've got a big treat for you, okay? So at this point, we've got our, this is looking pretty nice right now. But the image is still, it's looking a bit stretched out. So we can use this object fit cover. I'm going to show you another way where you can also use Tailwind. So if I wanted to do object cover here, I can also do that. I can say object cover, and now it will go ahead and do cover. And if I want to keep the aspect ratio, I can do contain as well. But in this case, I want to do cover, right? And I want it to be rounded. So I'm going to say rounded 4. And you can see why my love for Tailwind CSS is real, right? It's so easy to style this stuff. Patricio says, Sunny, I love your tutorials. I learned heaps from you, man. I'll support you as much as I can. Dude, thank you so much. That's what Papa Fam's about. That's what the energy we need in this place. Honestly, it's very, I drive off of your energy, which is why I do live streams, because you guys are what keeps me going. Incredible stuff. Thank you for the support. For this button, we're going to go ahead and give it a style, right? It looks boring right now. I don't like it. I'm going to do a background of yellow. Right, and also Tailwind CSS version 3 gives you a bunch of new colors, so it's pretty cool. We're gonna do yellow 500. Nice, looks pretty decent. I'm gonna do rounded LG to give it kind of a rounded corner look, and we don't see it much because there's no padding, so give it a padding of 5. Looks kind of nice. Let's bold the text out, font bold. Right, again, looking really good. And then I'm going to make it super futuristic with an animation. I'm going to say animate posts, and look at that. Oh, already just in a second, guys, look at that. Tailwind Model Ranger says Tailwind equals life-saving productivity. Yeah, it's actually true. It's like a productivity guru for a developer, right? To be so efficient when you're coding, right? So again, we have this looking pretty nice now. Yeah, so that's looking awesome, guys. And with that bit, we've actually done the design aspect of the login screen, right? So this is looking very good right now. What we now need to do is plug in Morales, right? So we obviously went ahead and set up Morales earlier. Thank you, Tommy, for the PLN, I think that's Polish, 10. Good work. Thank you so much, dude. So we've got Morales over here, right? So I went ahead into my Morales admin, and I went ahead and clicked on dashboard, right? So once you click on dashboard, you go to this screen. Now on this screen, you can see a bunch of confusing stuff, right? Well, the way it works is we've got rows, users, and this is going to be where the users live. And we've got a bunch of other things. So we can actually, this is our database, right? So if you're actually looking row, we've got like a database like structure here. So what I want to do now is connect to Morales on the React app. So the way we do this is we're going to do we're going to use a nice package called React Morales. Okay, so at this point, what I'm going to do is go ahead and create a new tab and call it React and Google React Morales. And you can see here we've got React Morales. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And you get a nice little guide here. So we're going to go ahead and install this. So npm install React Morales. This is a bit of a tongue twister. Yeah, and then we're going to go ahead and split the terminal. Oh, thank you, dude. Patrizio Rocco. Oh man, $30.99. I think that's Australian dollars. Huge, man. Oh my god. Jose says, I want to join the course. Are you coaching calls in the morning or evening, or is it at the same time? We try and adapt, dude. We really try and adapt. Stick around to day 5 and hop in, right? Or message Jay right now if you can't wait, and hop in with the crew, dude. But I'd love to see you in there. That's absolutely incredible. Music is a bit distracting. Okay, cool. I'll chuck it down a little bit. I think I can go ahead and do that for you guys. Let me go ahead and drop this a tiny bit down to volume 10, right? There we go. A little bit down. Not all the way out, right? It's still nice, right? So with that said, we've installed React Morales. Oh, I haven't installed it yet. Let's go ahead and copy this. And if you're using Yarn, you can use the other command. So npm install React Morales. This will install React Morales into our project. So it's Morales, but the React version, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and quick water break. If you know me, you know that that's crucial for me. If I don't get my water, I'm going to get cranky as hell, right? So let's go ahead and continue on. We've got some people, Jay, sort them out. So at this point, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and we added a bunch of packages. Okay, so we have React Moralis inside of our app. Now it doesn't just work magically. Okay, we're going to click on index, and then what we need to do is actually go ahead and install it into our app, right? So I'm going to go back to here, and you can see we have this thing called Moralis Provider. Now this is a very normal pattern that we see. We do the same thing when we have Firebase. We do the same thing when we're using things like NextAuth, right? They're called higher order components, and what they do is they essentially wrap your app and power it up with the features, in this case Moralis. So we're going to power it up with Moralis features. Okay, so over here what I'm going to do is import Moralis Provider from React Moralis inside of our app.js file. Okay, so command B, open up our file tree. Underscore app is basically where all the components or pages fly through. Kind of think of it like that, right? So at this point what I want to do is I'm going to return, and instead of this I'm going to return some parentheses, right? So I'm going to return some parentheses. I'm actually going to go ahead and pop this inside of there, right? Oops, no, what have I done? Oh god, okay, let's go ahead and copy that and pop it there. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, what we should do is have that next to it. There we go, right? And what I want to do is I'm going to import my, oh, okay, bit of a mess, but that's fine. I'm going to import my Moralis Provider, and I'm simply going to wrap my component in a Moralis Provider. Okay, we're going to wrap it like so. Okay, now that's not all, right? So what this is doing, again, higher order, because it's literally wrapping the child components and then it's powering them up with this new functionality, right? So what we need to do with this Moralis Provider is go ahead and actually give it an app ID and a server URL. Now details like this should be private, right? Or essentially not. Some details like this can be public, but if you've got a key, it should be private. But in this case, you don't want to really store it in plain text. So I'm going to teach you guys how to use an environment file to go ahead and store these credentials. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and create a file, call it .env.local, and this will not get committed to GitHub, which means that when you deploy to your Vercel to actually get this up and running, you will need to go ahead and add these in as well, right? So at this point, we've got our environment local file, and what I need is two things. I need my app ID and my URL. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and do something like this: app equals, app ID equals, and I'm going to go ahead and put some JSX, and I'm going to go ahead and say process.environment. So I'm going to access my environment files, and I'm going to access something called next public, and I'm going to call it app ID. Okay, that's the first one, and this is going to be, we're going to create these files in a second, and the second one is going to be server URL, and this one is going to go ahead and be the following. We're going to say process.env, I love this song, we're going to bring this up, process.env dot, and this one's going to be server URL. Oh, sorry, it's supposed to next public server URL. Okay, nice. Oops, there we go, nice. Okay, now you can see we haven't created these, so we're going to create them now. Now you're probably wondering, why did he write next public? Well, these are credentials which I do not mind being on the client. I don't mind if the app ID and server URL are on the client, as long as I don't pass any keys on the client. Anshul, thank you so much, and crazy stuff. He goes, you really care about your subscribers. I really do. Thank you so much, man. I'm so grateful for you guys, and I appreciate all the support. So if I don't have next public, it only gets rendered on my server renders. I'm not going to get too far into Next.js with server rendering, but if you want to know about that, check out my other builds on Next.js. But what this allows us to do is have access to these credentials on the browser. Okay, so at this point I need to create these. So I go to my environment local file, and I'm going to start creating these things. So I'm going to go ahead and create that in there. Oops, I'm going to go ahead and create this in there as well. Right, I need to give these obviously values. Okay, so in local files literally have key with the value, no quotes or anything like that. So what we're going to do now is go over to our Moralis admin, and we're going to click on view details. Now I'm going to quickly check something to make sure there's no sensitive credentials here, but what you want to do here, guys, is actually go ahead and make a connection to the database. Now I'm going to go ahead and actually blur out some of the stuff here, so that way we can actually sort of, you know, save the stream and it doesn't get too hectic with people trying to spam this thing. But I'm going to go ahead and do something right now. Okay, so at this point you should see the following on your screen, right? You should see a server URL. When you click on the details, view details, this pops up. You see a server URL. You want to copy the server URL, and you want to copy the application ID. Once you have those, you want to put them in the appropriate spots. The app ID goes here, the server URL goes here. Save the file after that. that is that step done, right? You will need to repeat this step when we do Vercel, okay? So I'm trying to make it as clear as possible for you guys, so that way you don't make a mistake here. Now I'm going to quickly do those steps as I mentioned. I'm going to copy my server URL, and I'm just doing it, and I'm telling you as I do it so you guys can do the same thing. So now I have next public server URL with that special key. I'm going to do the same thing for my application ID. The reason why I'm not doing it on the live stream is I don't want people to kind of, you know, go crazy with the keys. So now I'm going to save my environment local file and close it, okay? So at this point I've gone ahead and done that, and I've closed it, and I'm going to share my screen in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We are back. Okay, so at this point, how do I activate my keys? Well, I need to actually go ahead and do Control C and then do a npm run dev to pull in the latest environment variables. So if I do this again, you'll see it will go ahead and say loaded environment from environment local. That's good. That means we're all good in the right spot. Now, when you do install React Moralis, we do need to install a peer dependency. So you see this error came up. You need to copy this Wallet Connect Web3 provider, and we need to actually go ahead and install that. So I'm going to say npm I and Wallet Connect Web3 provider. We do need that when we start doing our authentication portion, right? So at this point, once that's installed, do a sanity check. Make sure that your app is still working. Make sure that it's all good. So if I refresh now, it shouldn't have broken anything, right? Things should still be loading. That's good. That's a good sign. With that said, quick water break. All right. With that said, guys, now we're going to go ahead and move over. Prashun, thank you, dude. Absolutely crushing it with the donations. Massively appreciate that. Prashun's a youngster, guys. I think he's 14 years old. Absolutely killing it. He's an example inside of the Papa fam of just how far your progress can go if you're willing to put in the work. And age is not a factor inside the Papa fam. You can be young, you can be old. Everyone is valued, and you guys are absolutely incredible. So thank you, dude, for carrying on to inspire others. Right. So at this point, we're going to do the login portion. So we have access to all of the cool Moralis stuff now. So if I go back to my index, instead of having this hard-coded false value, what I actually want to do now is pop in the following. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and actually pull in this handy use Moralis function. Okay, so it's import use Moralis from React Moralis. It's a nice little hook, right? I do have tutorials about hooks on my channel. Feel free to check them out. Everything on my channel is free for a reason. I'm trying to deliver value to the world. And then if you want to pursue it to that next level, that's why we have Zero to Full Stack Hero. It's completely, you know, feel free to join us when you're ready. Let's continue this on. So we're going to go ahead and pop in the use Moralis. Now, instead of this, I'm actually going to go ahead and say const, and they give us a very nice thing here called is authenticated. Right, so you can see what we're doing here, right? And we can say equals use Moralis. Now you get a bunch of stuff back here, right? So if I go ahead and control click this or command click this, you can see I get all of these things back, right? So I can actually pull out authenticate, log in, log out, sign up, auth, all this kind of cool stuff from this one function. But in this case, I'm going to get rid of our custom one that we had here before, the hard coded, and I'm going to determine if we're authenticated from Moralis. So Moralis will now handle the authentication portion. So now if I refresh, it will say you're not authenticated. So there's no error. So it's actually correct. We're not authenticated on Moralis. So this is actually pretty good, right? Now what we want to do is have it so that when I click this button, I trigger an authentication request. Now in Web3, what this essentially means is it will connect to your wallet. So it could be MetaMask. They also support other ones, but MetaMask is the default wallet. Hence why we set one up yesterday. It will make a request to your wallet to say, hey, is this actually you? And then you have to sign it. Right, so imagine like a little check. You have to prove that you own the wallet and you prove it by having the MetaMask wallet and then going ahead and hitting the sign button. So I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. It's incredibly powerful, and Ivan over at Moralis explains it the best. One line of code. So that's exactly what I'm gonna show you right now. Feel free to follow along while I do this. So we're going to go to the login component over here, and we're going to go ahead and do this right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import that handy use Moralis hook over here. So you can see it's really clean, honestly. Really, really nice how they've done this. And I'm going to go ahead and use that hook at the top over here and say const authenticate. So I'm pulling the authenticate object out. And what I want to do is when I click the login button, I'm going to go ahead and say button on click. I'm going to authenticate, right? So you can either do this or you can have an arrow function which calls it. But if you're just doing a simple function, you can actually just go ahead and call it straight up like this. And what we should see now, if we have done this correctly, guys, we would actually see a request being made. Yes, it was that simple to actually implement a MetaMask login, right? It's mind-blowing, right? And this is what your boy does. I'm finding the tech that's going to help you accelerate your development and absolutely crush it as a developer without having to spend so much time on the boring parts. Let's go ahead and hit refresh. I'm going to click login to the metaverse now and let's see if it works. If it does, guys, I want you to destroy that thumbs up button and absolutely subscribe if you haven't already and just get hyped up, right? So let's do this. I'm going to click it in 3, 2, 1, boom. I click it. Wow, what? This worked, man. First time. Moralis authentication. We have a nice unique ID that gets passed over to us, which is basically, it's called a nonce request, right? I'm not going to go too far into it, but basically it's like a unique thing that we know about, that they know about, that we can basically handshake on to prove that this is a legit kind of authentication happening right now, right? Now I click sign, and at that point, I should actually go through to the app. Sign. And at this point, okay, interesting. Oh, it worked. Nice. Welcome to the app. So you see, we actually signed in. The hook, which was determining if we're authenticated or not, refreshed, and bam, we are inside the app. Simple as that. It worked, right? So we are inside our app right now. And if I refresh, it will check if I'm authenticated, and bam, I'm inside the app. Right, and if you want to kind of handle that, you know, that loading portion, you can actually go ahead and tap into the authentication. Is authenticated, I think it is authenticating sort of hook, or is initialized hook, I think it is actually. It might be this one, is initializing, right? You can actually tap into that. So I'm going to leave that for you guys to add in bonus points for your sort of, you know, if you want to go ahead and customize your builds a bit further. But that in itself literally works, right? So now if I go ahead and refresh, it's there. So I'm going to add a quick button inside the app, which allows us to do a quick log out, right? So if I do index over here, now quickly, I'm just going to do a button and just say log out just to prove something. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull the log out function from a Moralis, and I'm going to say on click log out, right? So on click, I'm going to say log out. Now what we should see is if I click this button, I'm logged out, bam. And if I refresh, look at this. Nice. That is awesome, right? If I go ahead and log in again, we get another sign request, sign it, bam, we are logged in. If I hit refresh, I'm persisted. I'm still logged in. If I click log out, bam. We have a full authentication with Web3 tech in record breaking time. Like absolute record breaking time. That is amazingly powerful. Okay, that's going to be your homework for today, right? So your homework is going to be essentially to go ahead, build your login authentication flow. So set up Moralis, get everything working. You can use the Facebook groups, the Discord groups, and I want you to go ahead and implement this functionality so that way you're prepped up for tomorrow where we build the rest of the app. Now we're not done for today, right? As part of your homework, you need to go ahead and actually send in your deployed site link so we can test it. I need to see if your stuff's working, right? So we actually go through and check this stuff out. So what I want you to do now is deploy. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do deployment on Next.js, right? And if you're enjoying this, smash the thumbs up button. Absolutely incredible stuff with what you guys are doing. Remember I said if you did install it, you have to install that Wallet Connect. So you may get that error. So make sure you do that second install for the peer dependency. What we're going to do now is head over to Vercel. Right, so not only Vercel, I'm actually going to go ahead and open up GitHub as well. Right, so I'm going to open up GitHub. If you haven't already got the proper GitHub repo, feel free. Link is in the description if you want to get access to all our code, the builds, all that good stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new repo. Okay, so at the top right, new repo. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to give it a name. Right, so I'm going to say the Metaverse Challenge YouTube. Right, and I'm going to say description. That's okay. I'm going to make this one private, and we're going to click create repo. So what I'm going to do now is push in my, oh, nice. Matthias says, I like this live stream. I've actually been a Web3 dev for some time. Awesome stuff, dude. You are in the right place. Good to see you. All right. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and copy this first line, right? So we've created our GitHub repo. Now we need to push the code over. So if I go over here, make it full screen, Command J to pull up my terminal. I'm going to make this one a bit bigger. I'm going to sort of, increase the size so you guys can see it a bit easier. And what I want you to do now is simply go ahead and paste in that command. Okay. And here we have git is not a repo. Oh, wow. I haven't got git in here. What the hell? Let me do ls chance. Okay, so if you, I mean, if you do get that error, which you shouldn't, do a simple git init, right? And that will actually go ahead and create a git repo inside of here. That's very strange. I don't know why we had that, but I'm going to go ahead and do git remote add origin. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to push up, right? So right now it's actually going to be in the main branch. That's fine. Right, we're going to do git branch main. So it's going to our main branch. Right, so if you didn't know, if you have master, that's the old way of doing things. Main is the new way of doing it. So what we did is we just switched over to the main branch, and you can see we have 14 things which we haven't pushed yet, right? So we've got 14 sort of upgrades that we haven't pushed yet to the repo, and that makes sense. We've got 14 things which are different from this blank canvas. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to say git add all. And if I type in git status, you'll see that what I just did is I added all of these to the next stage sort of commit, right? So if I click on this, you can see the stage changes. These are all the things I want to now push or commit to a push. In this case, I can type in git commit, and I can type in -m for the message of what this commit is. Now you should give your commit messages something which makes sense. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to say implemented, let's just say login flow with Moralis completed, right? Login flow with Moralis, enter. And what this does is, oh wow, I didn't actually enter in my git config. That's fine, you can set this up yourself. But in this case, it went ahead and did that, right? So let me go ahead and check. Okay, oh god, it's so annoying when it's doing this. Let's do run git config mobile. I don't want to do that right now. Unable to order the email address. Okay, let me quickly configure my MacBook. That's fine. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to quickly go ahead and enter in my email. This is the thing, when you have so many different laptops, right? We have to go ahead and constantly reconfigure everything. So I'm going to go ahead and add in this gmail.com. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with my name, and I'll share the screen in just a second, guys. Bear with me. There we go. Okay, awesome stuff. So we are back, and now what we're going to do is a second chance, right? So we're going to do a git status, and you can see we've got all this. We'll do the git commit message and hit enter, and there we go. And what that's now done is it's pushed our changes to GitHub. So if I do git log, you can now see we have one commit, which is login flow with Moralis, and it's complete. Right? So what I want to do is I want to now push this up to my repo. So I want to push my code from here over to the repo. And the way I do it is I type in git push. And what you do is you'll get this nice little command over here. You can copy that, hit paste. And now we should get a lovely push to our repo and refresh the repo, and bam, it is there. Okay. So we have all of our information over here. It looks very good, looks really nice, right? Problem Solver says great stuff here, learning a lot. That's what we're talking about, dude. That's why we do what we do. If you're enjoying it, all I ask is smash the thumbs up, sign up for that final day to make sure you're part of the prize pool, and yeah, enjoy the rest of the content, dude. Thank you. So at this point, we have committed it to our GitHub. So we've done the first part. The second part is we need to go over to our vercel.com/dashboard. Log in, it's free to do so. Click on new project. And what we're going to now do is connect our GitHub repo, which I've already done. And we're going to go to our recently set up file. So we're going to click on import. Now, as you can see, it automatically detects it's Next.js. But what we do need to do is set the environment variables. So what I'm now going to do is go over to my environment variables. So I'm going to go ahead and pop open my environment variables. And I'm actually going to go ahead and hide the screen now so we don't show this, right? But what I'm doing is I'm first grabbing my first environment variable. So I'm going to go ahead and share it as I do it. So the next public app ID, and I'm going to put the value of that ID in here. Then I'll go ahead and hit the add button. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in as we speak right now. So it's going in just a second, bam, and we've got the first one in, and you will now see that it says next public app ID, and it's in there. And we're going to do another one, which is for the second thing. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do this one, next public server URL. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one. So this is now doing it for the server URL. So let me quickly do one thing. Hold on a second. Right. So as you can see, we've got this next public server URL, and I'm going to pop the value in here. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So I've got the server URL. Jay, we all good? Nice. All right, so I'm going to click on add nice, right? So this is looking good, guys. Now we have our environment variables all nicely set up, and it's all optimized. And as I mentioned, these are environment variables, which means that they're going to be sort of, you know, hidden away the credentials that you don't want to show to the rest of the world. Matthias says, quick tip, if you're going to be making a lot of requests with a Web3 node, I would suggest using a service like QuickNode. Would you really only want to use, okay. Oh, interesting, dude. Thanks for a tip. All right, we're going to click on deploy at this point, right? So I'm going to click on deploy, and at this point we're now going to deploy that Next.js app that we went ahead and set up in our, and push to our GitHub. We're now deploying it. Okay, so you can see custom environment variables applied, and it now builds the project. So what it's doing is it's creating an optimized production build, and it's deploying it to a Vercel URL. So what's really nice about this, guys, is it will actually go ahead and install the required dependencies, do everything, and then it will deploy it to a URL that we don't even have to pay for, right? It's actually free. So it's actually going to go ahead and work in just a second. Right, quick little water break while we wait for that to build. And while we're on this topic, guys, if you haven't already, as I mentioned before, sign up to the final day challenge. Tomorrow we have the actual big portion of the build that we're going to complete, but I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. It's been a massive challenge going ahead and getting this set up, but we are crushing it. Your energy has been unreal. And remember, Facebook group, Discord group, Zero to Full Stack Hero, all of this stuff is available for you guys to learn and benefit from. Okay, so we're almost done with this check. It's creating an optimized production build, and it is almost there. Yeah, so once this is done, I'm going to quickly go ahead and show you what you will then need to do is go to the homework submission, full name, email, and deployed site URL, and we'll show you how to get that in just a second. And if you did have any issues, partially complete. If you fully completed the homework, which is get the login flow done up to the point that we did today, fully complete that, hit that green tick with a smile on your face, and hit the submit button, and then smash the like button, right, for the YouTube algorithm. So we're going to go ahead and now do the following. Hold on a second, let me go ahead and pop this on the screen. So at this point we now have, yay, look at this, we now deployed our apps. You should get this beautiful confetti, looks awesome. You can click on the image to go to your deployed URL, and what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to grab this lovely URL. That's a very nice one, and we're going to go ahead and check it out, right? So I'm going to see if this works. Metaverse Challenge YouTube app, and looks really nice. Okay, log into the Metaverse, and I'm going to go ahead and select an account, log in, connect, awesome stuff. Connect, sign. So we connected our wallet to the website, signed it, we're logged in. If I hit the refresh button, bam, we're still logged in. Log out. That's exactly what I want you guys to get to, right? Amazing, smooth transition. So you want to copy this, go to your homework, and you want to pop it in there, pop in your name. So Sunny Sanger, pop in my email. Just do Papa React. You guys always email us. It's awesome to see. We love to communicate with you. And then you can do fully complete and then smash the submit, and you will then be done, right? And as I mentioned, guys, if you help someone else with their work, please screenshot it, put in the Facebook group. Really, honestly, you're going to get bonus points, and that's what the Papa Fam's about, right? So let me know, guys. Today we went ahead and built this portion of the build, the login flow and all that good stuff. I hope you've enjoyed this. Absolutely crushed it today, right? Really, really nice build. We got past all the tech issues, and you guys stuck through, and I honestly massively appreciate that. With that said, guys, this has been the build for today. I want to end it with the main, I love this song, and it always gets me hyped up, right? I want to end it with this one. It's been your boy Papa React. This has been day 2 of the Metaverse 5-day challenge. Hit the subscribe, bell notification icons, all that good stuff to make sure you don't miss the notifications. Thank you once again for sticking through all the tech issues. You guys are incredible. We're gonna conquer day 3 tomorrow, same time, same place, and we're gonna absolutely build such an amazing web app, right? So a Web3 dApp, right? It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be using Moralis, Tailwind CSS3. It's going to be so much fun. Make sure you tune in, join the Facebook group, join the Discord group. Make sure you signed up to the final day challenge. And thank you for being awesome. It's your boy Papa React. Me and Jay are about to go and explore Dubai and then go ahead and review all of your work right now. With that said, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace. I want to read your comments. Hey. We've already got people asking for, like, they'll help other people out. That's what I'm talking about. Nice. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.